All right, everyone, predict the score here on the Cowboys Report. Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. Well, this is spread at 3. It's a little bit dicey just because Matthew Stafford may or may not play. More on that coming up. Cowboys have their own injuries as well. But everyone in the comments section, predict the score for this week's matchup. Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. We'll begin with some injury talk here, namely with Jeff Heath. Now, Heath has re-aggravated his shoulder injury. He's actually got multiple shoulder injuries now. Happened against the Vikings. He stayed in on special teams. Darian Thompson replaced him, and frankly, Thompson, who was pretty bad for the Giants, has looked more like the guy I saw at Boise State, who actually liked him quite a bit coming out. So he is in line to start if Jeff Heath is not able to go. It is only Thursday, so we're guessing there are still several days for recovery and rehab and see how things progress. But as of right now, I'm going to list Jeff Heath as questionable, but I think there's a pretty darn good chance you see Darian Thompson out there starting at strong safety for the Cowboys. Heck, maybe we'll finally see Donovan Wilson get some reps, although somehow I don't think that's going to be the case because the Cowboys just like to go with what they know. And there are more injuries here. I want to call attention to La'el Collins. I'm a little bit worried here. Dealing with a back issue and a knee issue. We knew about the knee. The back kind of got tweaked against the Vikings. Didn't practice Wednesday. Didn't practice Thursday. Collins is in the midst of the best season of his career. Frankly, he's been one of, if not the best right tackles in the NFL. If only you had someone who told you, hey, just give him more time, consistency and stability matter on the offensive line. Look what's happened. But I am a little bit worried here because Collins not practicing Wednesday or Thursday is a bit of a red flag. Now, the Cowboys will be cautious. Tyron seems good to go. Zach Martin seems good to go. Connor Williams already guaranteed out right now. I hope you see La'el Collins out there. I just think it is very much worth monitoring. And then the question kind of becomes, okay, well, hey, who do you put out there? Is it Brandon Knight or is it an also banged-up Cam Fleming? So I hope he plays. I'm going to speak into existence that he will play, but please monitor that. So overall here, the Cowboys injury report, lots of guys I'm going to tag as probable. Amari Cooper, Zach Martin with a variety of injuries there. Zach Martin right now dealing with a bunch of issues. His back, his ankle, his elbow all kind of banged up. The elbow kind of popped up against the Vikings. Tyron seems good to go. DeMarcus Lawrence will be fine. Antoine Woods, he should be fine as well. Then becomes your other options here. La'el Collins, Cam Fleming. Fleming was limited. I think he's about back, but we'll see. CJ Goodwin left Wednesday with knee soreness. That is something to monitor because if Goodwin is out and Jeff Heath are out, there go two of your best special teams players. Good thing the Cowboys are great on special teams, right? No one here laughed because that's not funny at all because they're actually not very good on special teams. And finally, Connor Williams is indeed out. The good news is for the Cowboys, the Lions are even more banged up, which we'll get to. But first, we had a special guest stop by the studio earlier today. Back once again is Mick from Kashiyama. Mick, thank you so much for stopping by for some more NFC East picks.
Thank you as always.
You're welcome as long as you continue to pick the Cowboys to win.
I think that has been made very clear.
And you guys know the deal by now. We'll take you through the NFC East matchups this week. First up, the Jets at the Redskins. God, what a terrible football game. It's horrible.
I almost don't even want to waste my breath in talking about this.
It's fair.
It's fair. So I secretly think that these two teams are actually competing for the worst offense in the league and just haven't told anybody yet. I do think that the Jets are going to pull this one out because somebody has to win, I guess. So I'm going to go 19-16.
Also, for those of you wondering, no, we have not figured out how the Cowboys lost to the Jets because that doesn't make any sense. You got a 19-16. It's going to be a low-scoring game. The over-under indicates that one pretty heavily. All right, this one, a much, much better matchup. Patriots at the Eagles. Mick, what are you expecting from this one?
Well, I mean, the Super Bowl rematch finally is happening, and both teams are coming off the bye. While this might not be the easiest win that the Pats have taken, I do think that Brady and Belichick are going to pull it out in Philly.
Now, Cowboys fans, this is probably weird to say out loud, but you do really want the Patriots to win this week. The last thing you want is the Eagles to beat them, potentially get even in the NFC East again, knowing you've got the Patriots on the road the next week. So we are all Patriots fans this week. God, that feels really gross to say. What's not gross, though, is this awesome Kashiyama Black Friday deal, Mick. First time ever you guys are doing this. Why don't you break down what you've got for the people out there?
Absolutely. First time ever Black Friday sale. So it is going to be actually starting next week. So November the 18th, running through December the 2nd.
Okay.
We are offering 20% off of absolutely everything. So that is all grades of fabric, all upgrade options, all suits, all separates, and all add-ons. So taking already really fantastic prices and giving you 20% off as a thank you.
Now, I'm not good at math, but isn't that like at least $60?
At least,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, at
A lot of
minimum.
money saved right there. All right, so everyone text Mick to get your appointment set up. It's 214-448-9037. I've heard things are going pretty quickly right now.
Absolutely. So all of our new fabrics are selling out really quickly,
Okay.
and we're getting a lot of interest from this. So don't hesitate to book.
All right, Cowboys-Lions, then we'll move on to this one. Cowboys on the road. The favorite is a little off right now. A lot of the books have pulled it down because Matthew Stafford's status is in doubt. What are you expecting, though, this week?
I just cannot possibly see how Detroit could beat Dallas. We are first in yards per game and per play, and I definitely expect the Cowboys to get back on the winning track. And I'm sorry for making fun of Jerry Jones's age last week in trivia. Please don't smite me again.
You've got them 33-17. Everyone watching the comments, put your score predictions in there. Stay tuned. I'll break down mine in a little bit. Welcome back in here. Let's talk about the Lions injury report right now. Ty Johnson, he's first up. We'll get to Matthew Stafford, I promise here. Johnson returned to practice, concussion. I'll put him as questionable because it's a head injury, much like Ricky Wagner has right now. Wagner not back yet. So of the two, Johnson more likely, but we'll see. Deshaun Hand, he's still out of practice today. Questionable, that ankle injury. Romeo Okwara did return. I think he's a little bit more likely. Meanwhile, safety Tracy Walker also banged up. All of those guys are either starters or key rotation players. Once again, the injury luck tends to favor the Cowboys, which hasn't really helped them so far. The big one, of course, is Matthew Stafford. I don't think he's going to play. Frankly, I'd actually be a little bit surprised if Matthew Stafford were able to get out there and go against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not a doctor, and you guys, most of you aren't either, but I think we all know, if your back is fractured, you probably shouldn't be playing football. The Lions tried to get him a chance to go. It didn't happen. Didn't practice Wednesday. Didn't practice Thursday. I don't think you're going to have a scenario where Stafford plays, which means Jeff Driscoll is the next man up. That is the former Florida quarterback transferred to Louisiana Tech, who wasn't even good enough for the Bengals to keep in the offseason. Let's keep that in mind. If the Cowboys lose to Jeff freaking Driscoll, it will be a riot the likes of which Cowboys fandom has, I don't think, ever seen. Because at that point, Jason Garrett absolutely has to go. So how worried are you about losing this week to the Detroit Lions? It's a road game. I assume the backup quarterback is going to be in there, who's frankly not that good. Replacement level at best. Let me know. Scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about dropping this game? I'm like a 2. I am a 2. I am not concerned at all, but instead of being a 1 this time, I'm a 2. You know why? Because I learned my lesson kind of, sort of, against the Jets. That's why it's not a 1, it's a 2. I doubled my concern. How about that? Get those comments flowing here as we move on to Jourdan Lewis. Many of you asked about this in the comments section. We're on the same page, guys. All right, there have been more calls to start Lewis over Awuzie, and I get it. Unsurprisingly, to people except apparently the Cowboys coaching staff, Jourdan Lewis is really good at football. Has fared very well as the nickel corner. Now the calls are starting him over Awuzie, at least in 2 cornerback packages. Awuzie has been picked on by opponents this year, and as I've mentioned before, he just struggles finding the football. So here are some of their more advanced stats in terms of targets and yards allowed, touchdowns and all that from Pro Football Focus. The coverage snaps are 2-1 plus in favor of Awuzie. The receptions versus targets. Awuzie targeted 49 times this year, has allowed 31 receptions for 470 yards, 2 touchdowns allowed, 7 interceptions, both of which have 1 interception, except Lewis had half the opportunities to make those plays. Numbers kind of speak for themselves. The yards allowed, I think also fairly noteworthy there. I'll also make note, by the way, for Jourdan Lewis, 65 of his yards were tagged as being the man responsible for the Saquon Barkley screen. If Lewis does let guys get open, they're very short plays. They're not really downfield, which is part of being a slot corner. But my mindset is this, because we've already freed Jourdan. It's happened. I consider Lewis as the nickel being freed. Who should be cornerback 2? Type J for Jourdan or A for Awuzie. And what this really means is in base packages, because if you go to 3 cornerback sets, you haven't actually fixed your problem here. You still have Awuzie out there probably on the outside because he's bigger and longer. Or I guess actually bigger. He actually has shorter arms than Jourdan Lewis does. Crazy, right? So who should be cornerback 2? J for Jourdan, A for Awuzie. Let me know in the comments section. I've also got a deal for you guys. Everyone watch. I'm going to hook you guys up. Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to have a nice little drink here. This is a boring cup, right? That cup right there, way better. That is a custom tumbler. It says William. Get whatever name you want on there. $37.49. Head to chatsports.com/gift4. That's the number 4. Chatsports.com/gift4. Get yourself a custom Cowboys tumbler. It's $37.49. One note, though, folks. The deal is only available today. That's all I could get it for. So you better do it today and tonight if you want it. Chatsports.com/gift4. One day only if you want yourself an awesome custom Cowboys tumbler. Moving on now to the linebackers for the Cowboys. We're talking about things that need to get better. That's the linebacking core. The tackle numbers look great, right? Ooh, they had 13 tackles against Minnesota. Just don't tell the whole story, though, do they? Missed tackles everywhere. Sean Lee had a pretty rough going. They struggled in pass coverage. They got washed out a lot. The linebackers have not played up to our expectations of being the best linebacking duo in the NFL. They've been solid, probably in the top 10, but you were expecting top 3. That's a disappointment. Hopefully they can play better down the stretch. All right, everyone, predict the score for us. Cowboys-Lions. Let's see the C's flowing in there. Unless you're a hater, you're going to type in L for loser, C for Cowboys. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. This is the Cowboys bounce-back game. That's what this is. The Dallas Cowboys stick with what they know. They run the football effectively because it's a bad Lions run defense. They win like 31-14, 31-18, somewhere in that range, 31-13. They look effective. They run the football. People are like, we ran the ball so well. It's all Xavier Su'a-Filo's credit. He's great, except he probably has a bunch of mistakes that we just ignore because it's confirmation bias, and that's the problem for the Cowboys coaching staff. They run the football effectively, they win the game, and they learn absolutely nothing from their loss against the Vikings because it's the Cowboys coaching staff, and change is not one of their things. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.